We've lit our first Advent candle, and I wanted to take a little bit to talk about our the Advent offerings that we have, the devotions and the gatherings that we will have. And so, first off, I want to say we can download the PDF, and we've put that in the email. It's also on the first page of our online discussion group, and I think we have sent it out via GroupMe, and if we haven't, we will. That PDF simply looks like this. It has a little devotion that talks about Advent as a season of waiting and the invitations each week to look around and to notice, to wonder, and to be reminded of or to remember. And so we will walk through a week of the trees and then the seeds and the grasses, and we'll end up with the roots. And so each week we'll have a short scripture, a brief devotion, and then an opportunity to respond by saying, as you look at the trees, what do you notice? What does it make you wonder? And what does it remind you of? And these are the questions that we have used in our nature journaling. They've been a great way to contemplatively look at the things that are around us in God's creation. And then because we are creative beings, as images of the Creator God, we are creative beings. So each week we'll have an invitation to get creative. And so in Advent 1 this coming week, we'll take this time to look at the trees and to see the variety of leaf shapes and colors and all of those things that may be out there. Last week we experimented a little bit with watercolors to try to capture some of the leaves of the season. And we'll share some of those works in our online discussion. And so you can look and see those there. And so as a creative project sometime this week, to take some time to try to enjoy the beauty of the trees, either by trying to capture their colors in watercolor or colored pencils, a coloring or a drawing, or even just collecting leaves and making a collage or a wreath or whatever else may spark your creative fancy. We'll give you the big prompts, consider the trees, a smaller prompt that says, hey, this is something you might do, but anything creative is what is asked for here. And then when you finish, to take some contemplative time to consider what you've created, notice what initially drew your attention. Notice, what did you notice? What did it make you wonder? What did it remind you of? And to then consider how this process might be inviting you to experience Advent in a new or different way. And then to consider sharing what you have created in our online group. And that is located on our Horizons website. And to get to that, in the top menu, there's a program list, and it's one of our programs. And so we'll click on that. And what comes up is this Waiting with All Creation, which is our 2025 Advent devotion. We'll view the details. And it starts with an overview. So in the introduction, you have that same introduction, and here's where you can download that PDF. And so again, we have the Waiting with the Trees as the same scripture, the same devotion, and then in the Getting Creative, we have the invitation to get creative, and then to share things is down here in the group discussion. That opens up a page where you can add a photo or a video, or even just write some of your reflections. Now then, the final aspect of what we're doing for Advent is going to be our gatherings like the one tonight, where we have an opportunity to come together in community to reflect on Advent. And our in-person gatherings on the second and third Sunday of Advent. Will be a time to share a meal together. On the third Sunday in Advent, our programming will be caroling. And then our second Sunday, we'll be doing some of the creative process with seeds, making bird feeders to take home. And to get to those and to RSVP so that we know that you're coming, that is under events. And if you click on events up here in the top menu, we see the Advent week 1, week 2, week 3, and week 4, and then our Christmas Eve worship. And so for week 2, since that's one of our in-person ones, we really do ask you to RSVP so that we know how much food to prepare. You just click on the RSVP and fill out your information. And there. Then we know that you're coming.
Would you go back, the when you clicked on to the initial thing, it already said you're a member, so it let you in?
And I can't go back and
And
unmember myself is the unfortunate piece to that. But what it will ask you to do is to join. And to join, you simply put in your first name, last name, and email address, and that allows you to join. It'll send a request. It sends me an email to admit you into the group. And so I think everybody on this call has already joined that group. So thank you.